Hello, in this video we're going to be talking about Callum and Sephy, their importance in the play and how their characters develop. Now, Callum and Sephy are protagonists in the play. They're our main characters. It's important to remember that despite them starting off the play in the same class at school, Callum is older than Sephy. Because of the power balance in the world of the play, this means that Callum has less power than her and has started school late due to the perceived difference between noughts and crosses. And in previous videos, we've spoken about racism and how that's shown in the play. Sephy is 13 or 14 at the beginning of the play. Callum is 15 or 16. So there is quite a big age difference. Even though it's only 2 years, the difference between being 13 and being 15 is quite a lot, right? And if you think about how you were at 13 and how you are now, you are slightly older, they're very different, okay? Now, Callum. The name Callum is a Scottish name, and it's a name that in Scottish traditions means dove. Now, a dove is a symbol of peace, and it's the bird that told Noah about land being nearby and the end of God's fury. So, does that mean Callum is an element of peace? Maybe. Talk about that in a little bit. We see Callum go up from 15 to about 19 or 20 towards the end of the play. He can often be cautious and pessimistic. He has seen the injustice of the world. He's lived through them. And his character doesn't really develop too much. He is still angry. He's quite an angry teenager, young-ish, through the play, but we do see some of his aggression towards the end of Act 2. Callum has elements towards the start of the play of naivety and innocence, whereas he is slightly more weary and aware of his people's struggle towards the end of the play and before his death. But generally, he's angry, but he doesn't really know why. He loves Sephy, he's trying his best, but there isn't a huge difference in what he does and how he is. Firstly, let's make it really clear. Her name is not Persephone. Persephone in Greek mythology is the daughter of Zeus and Demeter, daughter of the gods, and is associated with the changing seasons, particularly with the coming of spring. The choice of this name is really significant. Okay, Mallory Blackman is telling us that Sephy is the catalyst for change in this world. The 13-year-old Sephy at the start of the play is very different than the 17-year-old new mother at the end of the play. We literally see her grow up from angry child to rebellious wine-drinking teenager to anarchic adult going against her father's wishes, keeping her baby and naming the child after Callum. From all of the characters in the play, we probably see the biggest shift in character development in Sephy. She is, similar to Callum, relatively innocent at the beginning of the play, and by the end, her eyes are open. She is really aware of the injustices in the world, and she's really not happy about them. Callum and Sephy are not named by accident. Their names tell us their purpose in society. They tell us a lot about them. Callum and Sephy bring about change with the birth of Callie, and the play ends with hope for the future and a potential new start for the world, brought about through peace and change by Callum and by Sephy. It's really important to remember that we are left almost on a cliffhanger. We don't know what is going to happen. Okay, Sephy has her child, and that's it. There is no solution to that. We do not see the change that's been made, but it is alluded to that we're kind of moving into a nicer world for these characters. Now, how you portray these characters depends on what you want to show. Both Callum and Sephy have moments of innocence, they have moments of love, they have moments of childishness, they have moments of anger, but Sephy's version of these will be different from Callum's. Callum might show childishness by storming around, and slamming doors and shouting, where Sephy could show childishness by jumping up and down. Your interpretation of the character would change and be different based on what you personally want to show in that moment. We can all have an idea of Callum is angry, so he walks around with his fists like this. But that might not work for you. That might be like, well, actually, that's a stupid idea. I'm going to show he's angry by changing my gait. And that's fine, right? It's about your own interpretation that makes sense within the play. It's really important to remember their ages and how they change. So always remember the very beginning, Sephy is very young. She's still quite young at the end to have a baby, but they're like, she's a lot younger than him, but she's taking control. How does that make him feel? Does it make him feel innocent? Does it make him feel more childish? Does it make him feel angry? Is he really annoyed that she's taking control? Their ages will always change how they are performing and what they are doing. This will really benefit your point 4 questions in the GCSE exam. Knowing how these characters change and knowing their arc throughout the play is really important. Make sure you'll bring your notes in next lesson, as we will be talking about Callum and Sephy. And as always, make sure you've read this play. Otherwise, I'm going to scream in your face. Bye.